and I've done a new sea rig because I'm going to the Nationals soon, so I'm happy with them. So those ones are getting a little bit tired, but anyway, so onto the B rig. So exactly the same thing. I also got myself a little bottle of what's it called? Real X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Real X.
Real X. Yeah.
Real
I
X,
just
the grease.
Yeah. I just run that into those bearings, top and bottom.
Yeah.
Just to stop them.
Double check that there's
Okay.
no lubricant.
Yeah, because they're only steel.
Yeah, you can get better bearings. My brother's got
Oh,
them from
yeah.
overseas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Robert Stainless one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Stainless. Yeah, I'll talk to him. I'm going down to see him on the weekend. So
Yep, that would be good.
actually, I'll text him and remind him to bring.
All good, Dave?
Yep.
Right, so same thing. One I prepared earlier. Get through there. So, and like before I go to the Nationals, I'll spend like a whole day just taking one rig off, putting one rig on, then doing it in reverse. So I know exactly that. So when I get down there, I know that I'm happy. I can do it quickly. I know it's going to work. So it's just exactly the same thing. I don't touch the bowsy because I know it's in the right place. And then
Well, here am I going to the 65s. I'm getting a boat from Nelson and sails from Waiheke and putting them together the day before the race.
Oh, you've still got a day.
so the same with the B rig. I've pretty much got 30 in here I'll do it this way. 30 in here
Yeah.
between there and this edge of the wing,
Right.
and 30 in here. Well, probably actually maybe slightly less because it's a shorter distance. So I don't think there's anything wrong with like anywhere between 25 and 30. I don't think you need to be, like oh, it's got to be 27 or something. I don't think it really
Now,
makes that much difference.
I read something, Trevor, about the fact that with respect to your jib,
Yep.
that if you want to point further, then you bring that foot in a little bit, and if you want power over point, then you just let it out of it. Now, does that make sense?
Yeah, if you want to point, as long as it's still balanced, you can actually bring this boom in a little bit more.
Right.
If it's too far out here, you'll lose pointing ability.
Okay, so you'd move the boom rather than the foot of the sail.
Well, I guess you can do either, but it never moves. I don't, because it's set up, and I don't think I ever
Right.
need to really move it. If I find I'm not pointing right, I'll know there's something wrong somewhere.
So
Come in and make an adjustment.
So you would basically change that setting there between the boom and the mast if you wanted to point.
If you wanted to point,
Yeah.
if you wanted to point, but the higher you point, the less speed you get.
I know, that's what I mean. There's
Yeah.
a trade-off, isn't
Yeah.
there?
So that's why, like, you see some guys and their booms will be in here.
Right.
They're pointing really high, but they're going really slow.
Yeah.
So I have the same thing. I have
VFG
the
is there.
3 fingers in here, same
Yep.
deal.
Okay.
And I know that I don't have to touch anything on the radio. These sheets are all the same lengths. I've made them all, adjusted them. I've got plenty of adjustment in them. They're all the same lengths as what the A rig is.
Right.
These positions are obviously exactly the same because it's going to the same thing here. Make sure that it's dead center.
Yeah.
That's quite important.
And do you glue the bowsies?
They're not glued, but I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I will glue them. I've been kind of waiting for them to settle down, like, I'm pretty happy with it now, but it's, it actually pulls that bridle up quite high.
Right.
Right up to it.
Right. Oh yeah.
But it's never there, it's like, it's always there.
Yeah, that's true.
So it'll just go over like that.
Yeah.
But the higher you have it, the less battery power it's using.
The less
Battery power it's using.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like pulling like horizontally that way.
Right.
It's not trying, if the sheet was going straight up from the deck like that,
Yeah.
to get that, it would do that all the time.
Right.
And then to get it really tight, you have to tighten up so much. but it's like, it's still able to do that,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But by having that bridle as high as possible, it kind of, it limits it from,
Yeah.
you know,
So
it's
where
not
you-
able to do it, it can still do that, but it's just better geometry, I think, you know?
Well, it's honouring your settings, isn't it? It means it's not playing around with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I never have to change anything. I know this B rig goes on, it's in the same place, it fits there, like the A rig does. The boom, like, it just literally goes back to the three fingers, it always does, you know. Obviously you've got adjustments if you need to adjust it, if you find something has moved. And again, like tension,
Wow.
you know, definitely need that. If you want a point, you need a lot of, you know, there's a lot of tension.
Right.
You don't want you don't want this. It will sag anyway because the mast will bend, and so that will get a little bit looser. But you want as much as you can possibly get. You know.
Right.
But we haven't mentioned ties as well. The ties in here, I tie them. I don't use the steel rings, and you find that the mast will bend, and if they're too tight. You'll get creases down from those like that, creases down there, creases down there from those points, because it's pulling it from that point because it's too tight as it bends. So what I did with mine, I got a heavy block and I kind of held it there, so if I pushed it over it wouldn't move down the bottom there, and you can bend the mast and you can see if your ties are too tight, and I just used to loosen them off until those wrinkles went away.
Oh, so that's when you're putting it up.
Yeah, so that's they've sort of got like a bigger gap in there than what you would probably imagine. You know, most people go, oh yeah, I want it like that, you know.
Yeah.
But then if you do that, you'll end up with wrinkles down here.
Right.
So, and then I know Dave says sometimes, oh, your boat looks always immaculate, you know. And I do spend a bit of time on it, you know. And I've noticed that they shrink slightly when they get wet. And they pull in a little bit, and then I start noticing, like on my main, I made a new A rig today. I haven't put it on yet, but I noticed one of my ties on my A rig was starting to pull. I think it was just actually just starting to pull slightly, so I know that that's too tight, you know.
That's the visual effect of it.
Yeah, yeah. So there's bugger all difference between one rig to the next. So I don't have to change anything, you know. It's always the same.
Well, I think that's one of the downsides of a fly sky. You know, adjusting the what do you call it, Dave? When the distance you go out,
The travel.
the travel. You know,
How
we can
far it
adjust
goes?
how far it goes out.
Yeah. Endpoints basically.
The endpoints. But if your endpoints are different on your B to your A, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Because you change over, and everything's different.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've done is I've actually recorded. So when I change my rigs, I go to the B rig settings.
Okay.
You got a different model memory?
No, I don't. I just
No.
changed the numbers.
Right.
On, but not having to do that is a real advantage if you're under pressure.
Well,
That's
the key is setting your rig up so it's identical.
Yeah.
Length.
Yeah. Set it up with the same lengths of cord.
And like I'm really confident that when I change rigs, I know it's like
That's
it's
what I
99% going to be right.
Yeah.
It's going to be right. You know? So if you're under pressure,
There's a lot
You
of
know,
that. That's good.
you just need to, you know, and then again make sure all your bowsers are in the middle. I noticed on my boat, I think it was this rig actually. Yeah, I changed the downhaul cord here.
Right.
Because I'm going to the Nationals, I noticed a little tiny bit of fray on it.
Oh yeah.
And it was only a tiny little bit, and I thought, you know, I'm going to change that because that will go at the wrong time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of little things that make up the whole package, if you like, you know.
Yeah.
That to get confident with it, so that you know when you're changing it, that you don't have to go like, oh, so what, I need to change my radio to do this, or
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
you know,
Yeah.
you can just chuck the rig on, put your sheets on because it's all in the same place,
And you're back in.
and away you go. You know, I mean, like last weekend I was seriously thinking of changing down to a C rig,
Right.
and it would have only taken me like 3 minutes
Yeah.
to change it.
Actually, I think you might have mentioned it, and I said, "Oh no, I can't be bothered,"
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I thought, "Wow, that's that's going to test me too much." I'll be sitting out of the pond for 10 minutes, 15.
And again, like you can see the amount of twist in there.
Right.
You know, it's just yeah, certainly not. You don't want it like that, obviously.
No.
you know.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to measure if you want to, or just the ideal thing is really just to get used to eyeballing
I'd like to
yourself.
learn to eyeball it.
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Once you get into that
Yep.
way.
And then you know, looking at I haven't got a sheet of them, I haven't got sheets on, but just looking at it like that, and if the main was up here,
Yeah.
you know, just looking from behind it, you know, just looking at that, the shapes between the two cells from behind, you can see there's plenty of twist in them both, you know.
Yeah.
And again, the main thing I go for is balance.
Right.
If it's obviously not balanced, there's something wrong. If it's
But
too,
that's on the water, isn't it?
yes, that's your kind of final test. You put it on
yeah,
the water,
yeah. Put it on the water.
but you
Pull it
usually
back.
find that once you've got it rigged up right, you just don't even have to do that. You know?
Yeah.
The only thing you want to should have to adjust is this one here,
Right.
and that's simply because if you let that go, that ledge will go boom tight.
Right.
And you don't want that because it will stretch, so you just let that go a little bit.
Right.
And then you can safely take that off, you know.
Yeah.
Used to have a guy in England that I used to make sales for. First thing he ever did was, and by me it's even worse because you've got a lot of pre-bend in the mass.
Yeah.
The first thing he always did was take off the backstay and the ledge on his main and go, and I
Ooh.
go, gee, I like you, Bob, because I always have to make sales for you.
Okay,
And he goes, let your cracker off first, mate. And so, oh yeah, but then I've got to set it up again next time. I go, well, you'll have to anyway because your sale will be like
Ripped in two. That's
So
good.
it's exactly the same thing, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
checking everything,
Yeah.
make sure it's all rigged up properly.
That's
And
good.
then Dave very kindly made me these black diamond sales stickers.
Oh yeah, cool.
Um,
Well, I've got I bought a rig, but this is the first time this table in 2 weeks, grandchildren, it's the first time this table has been free. I haven't had a free table. It's had sewing machines and art stuff and
Another thing, I know these things are a bit tricky to rig up sometimes, you know, but if I'm putting a new sail on, I get a bit of masking tape, I hold it up to where I want it, bit of masking tape on there, over the top of there, onto the other side, and that won't fall. I know it's in the right place,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
you know, and then I can tie a bit of string on,
Right.
and then take the tape.
That's a
Because it's like, if you're trying to tie a bit of string in the right place, so it's like really trying to hold it at the same time, and
yeah.
stick it on with tape, tie your string on, then take your tape off.
Yeah.
It's done.
Good idea.
I hope I remember that.
And then the other thing is, when you're if you're putting a jib on or you're redoing your jib or whatever, just tie bits of string off from there to your foresight. Just tie a piece of string off so it can actually, it doesn't matter if it's loose, just so it holds it up, so that you're not trying to get the bows in the right place. If you tie it off with a bit of string, you can just like, you know, and then put even if you've got a bit of string in there, it's still there, and then put your bows in, and then cut the original bit of string off.
And that's how you get your bowsy in the middle.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's clever.
Just little things like that, you know.
Well, it's a
just make
difference
it kind
between
of
a real
easy.
struggle.
Yeah, they can
Otherwise
be.
It's a
They
real
can
struggle.
be. Yeah.
To get the bowsy in the right place, and then you get the knots all in.
Yep.
And you tie it up, and then you pull. Oh flip! I got to pull the bowsy right down to get everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll have bits of string hanging off the whole thing everywhere, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you know what you've got to cut off when you finish, you know. And then you know what you end up with is what you've got, you know.
Yeah.
And everything like gets, you know, everything that's not needed is gotten rid of, you know. I also did this. I don't think you need it on a BB, but I tied some cord around that yellow cord around that, just in front of that rubber,
Oh yeah. For the
Um,
same reasons,
and then that, because that, especially on the A-rig and really light winds,
it'll pull.
that'll stick to the silicone,
Oh yeah.
and it's supposed to go like that.
Ah, yeah.
So just put a couple of wraps of string around there,
Yeah.
so it can't stick to the silicone. It just literally goes around.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Cheapest.
That's brilliant.
And also here, I make my sails like that because it's just easier to get the wire up there, the little cutout, and I can get the eyelet right to the front of the sail, you know.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I've got a really small bit of spectra in there, just on that eyelet around that foresight. It just stops
Holds
it.
it forward.
It just stops it
Ah, yeah.
bouncing too much.
Right.
You're never going to stop it all, but
Yeah.
you know.
That's
What
good.
is that?
See a little
It's
bit-
very
Oh, that
small.
bit. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Gotcha.
And
Just
when it's
keeps
under
it
load,
forward.
it's
Yeah.
just, it takes the load off that,
Ah, wow.
and it just holds the load onto the eyelet itself.
Yeah.
You know, just really, really small details.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
You know,
Very
but I think if we're all going quick, it's the little tiny things that are going to make the difference.
Yeah.
You know, and then the confidence in your boat.
Mm.
You know, and if you're confident to change rigs and you know everything's right,
Yeah.
it just makes the, well, to me anyway, it makes the racing so much better.
Well, it's
You can-
amazing how much movement you get there.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's incredible.
It actually changes the shape of your sail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Wow.
So these here, instead of the stainless,
Yep.
you just tie those off yourself?
I just use a, I've got a, what do you call this, little bamboo skewer that they,
That you feed in
Just
the
gonna have to-
yeah,
chopstick?
yeah. No, not as big as
No,
a
no.
chopstick, but like a bit bigger than a toothpick.
Right,
Well,
okay.
well, significantly bigger
Yep.
than a toothpick, but you know, and I just put a bit of tape on it. I tape it to the mast where that is, so it
Yes.
won't drop off. And then I tie the string around the mast and around the little skewer, pull it up tight, and then cut them back, and then I just singe them with a lighter. And you pull the skewer out, and then that gives you that,
Gives you a
the
little
same
bit of
amount
Use
of
a
gap,
lighter.
you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, use a lighter, but be very careful. You know? Because if you
I
put a
think
heat
my
on
hand
these,
would shake too much.
Yeah.
on these, if you a little bit of, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, I just usually hold a bit of cardboard. I'll tip,
Yeah.
if I'm burning them, I'll tip the boat so the flame's always going to go up. I'll put the boat on the side so the flame's going to go up,
Yeah.
and then I'll put a bit. If I'm doing something, like say I'm doing something down here, I'm going to do this one, or something like here, I'll just put a bit of cardboard in here.
Right.
You know, so it just, and then I just light it. Oh no, it's not going to go.
Yeah.
But I have had guys. I had one guy ring up and he said, "Oh, those sails I got off you last week." He said, "I just put them on and I ruined them." He said, "Can I have some more?" And I said, "Well, yeah, for an extra $100 you can." I said, "It's not my fault, is it?"
You
I
just
did,
burn them.
yeah. And they just go,
yeah, I can imagine.
horrible wrinkles. And he goes, "Well, I didn't even use them." I said, "Well, you know, it's not my fault.
No,
Yeah.
no,
I
that's
said, I'll
right.
make you some more for free.
Yeah.
I did warn you."
You gotta be careful, man. On those lighters, man. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody got any
So-
other questions?
When you said you've got them all set up the same so you can switch between rigs, are you talking about the distance of your sheets to the tie-off point? Is that the
Yeah,
main?
because that really, I never adjust that. It always moves from there to there, the same position. I never have to do anything with that to make
Okay.
it move. And so I've got these, and obviously you've got bowsers on here so you can adjust them. You need to, so that you can adjust them to get them right. And then they're pretty much the same. Well, they are the same length as what the A-rig
Right.
one is,
Okay,
because it's going to go from the same
same point.
two
so
holes here,
tie
same
down.
point there,
Yeah.
and it's going to go there, so I know it's going to be the same. Although, as we've said, they do tend to move slightly. Sometimes I'll put the A-rig on after like I've had the B-rig on all day. Next time I put the A-rig on, generally, you know, it'll be tighter than what it should be. So I just need to move those bowsers like a millimetre or something like that. But that's just
Yeah, it's
general
minor.
things that
Yeah.
wet and dry and stuff like that. You know.
Essentially, that's sort of-
And then the same with the luff on here. They I think on that one they say like none again.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right.
and it's like, no. If you're getting, if it's, you know, you don't want it really tight, but you want it like something like that.
Yeah.
In my opinion. If the wind goes a bit light on your A-rig, you can loosen it off, but we're talking like half a millimetre. That's bugger all. You know? I always try and go for a nice looking rig,
Yeah,
you know.
that makes sense.
Just yeah.
If it looks good,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be efficient.
Yeah, yeah. They often used to say like, what was it? No wrinkles for, wrinkles for go, what was it? I can't remember what it was now. Something like if it looks tight and everything for the camera, it looks good, but wrinkles for go, like, because it goes quicker. Yeah, you don't want, especially your luffs, you don't want them tight. So mine, I notice on mine sometimes you'll just start to see a few little puckers here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Right,
But
right,
you don't
that's
want it
interesting,
like,
yeah.
you don't want that like really tight, you know?
Yeah.
You just don't want that really tight, but you
Because
want
when I
just
was going
tighten
fast
up.
the other day, I saw those and I thought, oh, should I pull it around and do it? And I thought, no, I'm going fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, if you pull that too tight, it just makes it flat. You know, it takes all of the, there's not much shape in them anyway, you know?
Yeah.
And you will get a bit of shape because the forestay will sag, so you always get a bit of shape just from the sag of the forestay, even if it's tight, like it will still sag, you know, because the mast will be, so you'll end up getting a little bit of shape like that, just literally through the bend and sag and it, you know?
Right.
But the actual say, you want this, in my opinion, this really tight, which is the actual, the standing rigging, if you like, the forestay and that, all that, the backstay and everything else. But the actual sail, you want just tight enough, no more, you know? Just tight enough.
As you say.
Trevor, you haven't told us what that magic masking tape is there.
I only put it on there so the hatch will stay in place. Because I know if I move the sheets in and out, they drop down inside and they go around the winch. So that's all it's there for. Just, you know, that's all it's there. I mean, just for tonight, that's all it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's open,
Yes.
the sheets
Fall in.
go, they fall in there and they go around the drum.
Been there, done that.
Forever trying to get them out. So I just put the hatch on it, but just for tonight.
You wonder what's happening.
Yeah.
You suddenly work it out.
Yeah.
The sheets disappeared.
Is it one of Dave's magic hedge cover?
No.
No, that's not, that's the standard.
No, I've got some at home.
That's the standard.
Yeah, that's the same stuff as what that is.
Yeah.
But I've got some off Dave, and I'm gonna use them down at the South Island. Start using them. But I've got about 3 rolls of sail tape, which is not ideal. That stuff that comes with it, because it still leaks.
Yeah, yeah.
I always fear a bit
Does
of
it
water through.
really?
Yeah, because you got your tape crossing over, one
Yes.
that way, one that way, and just where they cross over, they don't always stick in the water that runs down that little.
It's amazing how
gap.
water can move like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, incredible.
Amazing.
But those hatches covers that Dave does, they'll be
Yeah.
completely watertight.
Yeah, you can actually put your finger in and you can feel that it's
You can
completely
hang
sealed.
elephants off those ones.
You can. Yeah, the other thing I want to point out is the bung.
Oh yeah.
Lack of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the fact that you get pulled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was whose boat was it a few weeks ago that someone ran on the back of his boat, knocked the bung out,
Oh,
and so it was water. You know?
So you don't use one at
Don't use-
all?
no.
Just
Is
put,
that
just
what
put
you
the
mean?
tape
What
over.
is that? Is it
Well, the boat
Well,
doesn't.
secret tape?
No,
Doesn't
no,
it?
it's just a bit of it's just a bit of this stuff.
Okay.
I think Dave's got some little stickers in here.
I've actually cut a whole stack of those out of the carbon-looking stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you want one, or want it,
Yeah.
I'll give you a 20. And yeah.
No, the cards
Stick
I
'em
really,
on.
really like.
Well, that's right, especially when you've seen somebody do it, eh? When you've seen somebody do it.
I thought it was a great idea because I was always worried about mine because
Yep.
you know, it was attached to the on-off switch.
Mm.
And I just thought if a boat came and pulled that, hit me, it turns my boat off.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want that happening.
Yeah, well, that's right, because they come in.
Yeah.
They're trying to go behind you, and next thing, that's exactly where they hit.
That's right. No, I just thought that was a recipe.
Well, that's
for
great,
disaster.
Trevor. Well, thank you very much for
Years
for that.
ago, I
really appreciate it.
years ago, I built a boat for myself and one for my mate Jeff, and we had switches inside here, but they were like a push light switch.
Yeah.
You push it
Oh,
down,
yeah,
push it
yeah.
up. And because the hatches weren't hard, they were soft out of this material, and you just push down, on and off, you know.
Yeah.
And one day a boat came along and his actual bow hit the switch and turns it off. Through the hatch.
Serious?
And Jeff goes, oh, that's what's wrong with my boat, you know. He goes, what's wrong with it? Well, he gets it out and pulls the hatch off and he goes, it's turned off.
And that's one downside of if you get a tangle, you know, you like I got a tangle that last time, and all my rigging was altered when I got it back from the wharf
You
is.
lost the counterweight, didn't you?
Oh, that's right,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
counterweight.
yep.
That's the main thing,
So they're not secure in there at all, they just slide in.
What, you gotta put in fact, Mike,
Yes.
said, the one he gave me had a kink in it,
Oh.
so you put a little kink in it and it stays
Yeah.
in place.
Yeah, it's
If you
hard
leave,
to
if
push
you
it
just
in.
slide it in straight, it can come out. If it gets,
If
if it
wet.
gets somebody's backstay around it, it just rips
Right.
it out, which is what happened to mine.
Yeah.
So he puts a little kink in it.
Yep.
So you
Okay,
still, you can
makes
still
sense.
get it in under pressure, but
It's
it's,
quite,
it's,
yeah,
it's
it
solid.
makes it harder
Yeah.
to get it out,
Yeah.
but you can get it out.
Because that's what happens, their backstay goes around it and dunk, out she comes, so, yeah. All right.
Trevor, that's fantastic,
That's
thank you
awesome.
for
Yeah,
sharing all
thank
your
you so much,
Yeah,
there's so
no
much
problem.
your
Very good, yeah.
knowledge.
to take in.
The sea rig's exactly the same, just remember to rig it up on these
Well, that's
That
what,
one?
yeah,
Yeah.
and that one.
that's where we differed
Yeah.
last time, when we put them on.
And it's, like I say, it's just a matter of looking at it, make sure you've got everything right, you're happy with it, you're confident changing rigs one back to the other. And then it just makes your racing so much better, so much more fun, because you're not having to, things in the back of your head going, oh, what's that?
That's
Why have I got that? Oh, that's right, I did
Yeah.
that last time, I didn't put it back.
Yeah.
You know, all those sorts of things, if you
Yeah.
can eliminate all that.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, it comes down to getting a good start. And I'm
Yeah.
not particularly good at starting at the moment, I was shocking last week. But getting a good start, and then your sailing comes into it, you know.
Right. Well,
Picking the shifts
like
and
I was
stuff.
saying before, you know, it's the fact that it's so easy to blame your rig,
Yes.
and in fact, it's playing in your head.
Yep.
And once you've done that, especially in a competition, you lose it. You just can't stay up with the fleet because you're not confident.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you can hold on to your confidence, then you know you're up there.
Yeah. So just really quickly, if you want my measurements, pretty much here, 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Same here, 25 to 30. I'd lean more on the 30 side.
Yeah.
Get your boom out
50.
to that corner.
50.
Yeah.
Yep, 50 in here.
Yep.
Centre of the mast to the boom with the ruler on that actual boom, just like
Yep.
that. So 50. Anywhere between 50 and 55.
Right.
And then that, work on that corner.
Yep.
If it's windy, you can let that out a little bit more, you can let that out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they work that corner and that corner.
Yep.
don't they?
Yep. And then loads of tension on there.
Right, that's key.
Yep, that is definitely key. Yep. And pretty much that's it. You know?
Yeah.
Right, so what I've done on my boat is I've put a 9-point throttle curve on
Okay.
both ends of my sail.
Yep.
So when I'm in, I've got really fine adjustment,
That's a good idea. Yeah.
and when I'm right out, I also have fine adjustment,
Okay.
and that's what I was telling you I was playing with.
Right.
It's right out there.
Yep.
So that I'm using both Expo and the 9-point curve to give me really fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started doing that recently, and I'll tell you what, it really
Oh,
feels.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
that's
feel like
lovely.
you're driving the boat. Back.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you-
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
it is.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any reason, not to do that at all. I think it's a good
Mm.
idea, you know. I mean, I've just got a cheap radio, so mine hasn't got anything on it. It's just in or out. That's it, you know.
And see, what I think about is that, when you're fully in, you've got no more on the transmitter, but you're thinking, oh, maybe my sail could come in a bit more.
Yep.
That makes me think, am I at the right spot with the boom? I'm always thinking, I've never, I want to get to a point where I can feel I'm too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what that is yet, but
But
I'd
yeah.
like to be able to switch that in and out on the radio so I get another 10 mil or something.
Yeah.
Or 5 mil of in,
Yeah.
because that's the crucial area
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Is find that real sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As if we're using the switches, because on my one, Warwick has created one of the switches has got a sheet adjustment on the main, and you can, there's quite a bit of movement in it.
So it switches out that
Yes,
much.
yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
that's-
go the other way. I want to be able to pull in another 5 mil. I want to find where it's optimally correct. Where your boom's pointing
Yep.
to those measurements. But I'd like to be able to pull it in another 5 mil if I could.
Yep.
And what I'd do then is have that on the switch, so now I can pull that in, and when I'm fully in, I'm an extra 5
Yep.
mil in.
Yep.
Or I can
But
take
then-
it back,
but then-
to, back
but-
to standard settings.
But then you don't want to go past that point, so you don't want to come in so far that you're
No.
flattening
The,
your main.
the only reason that you probably
Right.
want it to come in a bit tighter is if you're trying to, if you haven't quite got your ley lines right, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
And you just want to go like that a little
Yep.
bit for like
Yep.
a boat length or two, you know.
It just
Just
makes me
to-
wonder though,
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good
whether
point.
I can go another a couple of mil in or
Yeah.
something.
the closer you go in, it will slow down more,
Yeah.
and
But
you'll
it'll
point
point.
higher.
But
But if you trying to lay a mark and you're just underneath it, and if you've got nothing else to pull in, you've just got to hope for the best, or you're going to have to tap, you know.
it's a very
But if you've got, like, if Dave's got his like a little, he can just go like that, a little bit more, he's likely to go whoop, around the mark, you know.
right.
So it's possible, yeah, to do
Okay.
that. But then you've got to remember to put it back,
You go.
you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if
it's
you
good.
forget and you come around the bottom mark again and you're like, your boat's like this pointing really high, but you're just going like that, and all these other boats are going underneath you,
Yeah,
you're going,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
And it
that's
only
right.
takes like that, and then
It's a
two or three
potential
boats.
recipe for disaster, but
Yeah.
it's not that much to think about.
You almost
Like I
get it-
say, with my aircraft, I got thermal modes.
Well,
speed
that's
mode.
true.
Yeah.
It's training.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
got to the
Yeah.
point where I'd done it a few times and I'd forgotten to flick it back,
Yeah.
and then I was kicking myself because
Yeah.
I thought, flipping heck, I've been sailing like I've done 2 lengths with that fucking,
Yeah,
and then I thought, oh no, I'm taking it off. So
you almost need something like an indicator in a car which goes, good ding.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
And
Yeah,
at the other end, Mike Hurst said he broke all of his ones off.
He did. Yeah.
Because he hated them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They're
That was
so easy to accidentally flick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
they are.
But you can just turn them off. I mean, all of mine are now turned off.
Yeah.
They're all turned off, so they're
Are
useless.
they?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can turn them all off.
Okay.
But I had that one so that basically I'd flick that and she'd just go out just about that much. And then I'd flick it back in and she'd come in tight.
So on my
So-
aircraft radio, I've got little rotary ones on each side.
Yep.
So when I'm flying in the thermal, I can pull more camber down, just 1 millimeter, half a millimeter at a time on each click, just so I get that camber perfect for the aerofoil.
Yep.
So you could actually have one of those
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
inside for that sail
Yeah,
trim.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have that on the radio that I'm currently using
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
for the boat. That is, yeah.
These are pretty good.
They're
But like
great
I say,
radios.
there's-
They're a really good little radio.
They are, but there is a downside to as far as changing rigs is concerned, from my experience. Because
Well-
I basically got the numbers have to be changed here
Mm.
when I change rigs. Otherwise, because everything's. Well, you probably set it up so it's.
You probably,
just-
you
yeah.
probably
Just
could
do
set
it-
it up.
yeah.
and
I'll
just-
set it up like that
possibly
or do
it's-
another model
It's
memory.
because of the fact that these are possibly totally different lengths.
Right.
That's probably what it is.
It will be.
Yeah, because that's quite critical.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
I'll have a
absolutely.
good look at that.
Yeah.
Just have another boat that's set up with a B rig.
Well,
Another boat, another radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
3 bucks,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be weeks again.
yeah.
If I win lotto, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
It would only take you about 30 seconds if you were swapping over on that basis, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you can't at competition. You got to use the same.
Same boat.
Oh,
You
the
gotta
same
have the
boat,
same
yeah.
boat. You
Yeah.
can't swap over.
Nah,
In fact, there's limitations as to. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, but no, it is to do with the boat.
Yeah, you can.
You can't alter. You can't change boats. You can
No.
change sails.
Oh, unless you've got damage, I
Yeah.
think. But you can change sails change things like sails.
Yeah.
Through damage.
Yeah.
If you tank it up and you rip the sail or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's just got to be replaced with the same,
Yeah.
basically the same sail,
Yeah.
same material and everything
Mm.
else. They always put that into the sailing or racing rules or whatever.
Right. Right.
Just
Oh,
for
so
that
if I've
reason.
got on my 65, then I've got my brother to change it so that I've got a bowsy up the top. He's just changed it.
Ooh.
Oh no, he hasn't actually because
I
I'm
think
taking
the-
my own sails.
I think I don't know if the 65 allows that. It might do. I don't know. I haven't read the rules.
I think
on
I've
it.
had it. I think I've raced with it before and nobody's pulled it up.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll leave it like it is for now.
Yeah.
Because I do.
It's probably
like it.
unlikely that it's not going to make any difference.
No,
It's
it's
probably
because
unlikely that
yeah.
you know.
Oh,
It's
the
just-
65, no, just a minute, the 65, you can't adjust it down below. That's
Oh,
it.
okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I've just done mine as per the rules, simply
Yeah.
because I don't want someone to say that's illegal.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
You know,
And
because
have
and they do that,
They
they
do.
will do it.
Yeah, that's
you know.
right.
Especially when you go to the nationals like that,
Yeah.
they probably scrutinise all the boats, you know.
They do, yeah.
You know, like one meter, they measure them, spend a whole day before measuring everyone's boats.
Yeah.
They probably won't do it on these because they're all the same.
No,
But
not
they're
so much
likely to
boats,
measure
it's
sails
sails,
and
but
stuff
they,
like
they certify the sails.
Yeah.
And, they certify the boats, you got two things, you got that.
Yeah.
So that you've obviously been through one competition.
No, I got that when I joined up with
Oh, did you? Oh,
Um,
which is the,
24.
Can you print those, Dave?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can print those things.